Defensive tackle Bruce Gaston is with us. Bruce, this defense did not perform at the level that you wanted it to last year. What's the biggest key to turning things around?
Being dominant. We have to be very dominant, and we have to execute. A lot of things last season we didn't do well was execute, be dominant, and we had too many penalties. We can't allow that this year.
Bruce, when you talk about execute, what are the biggest differences from last year's defense to this year's defense?
Last year's defense, execution-wise, gap integrity. If you hear gap integrity, and, sometimes it does fall on the line. We didn't always have, our gap sound or whatnot, and we didn't have what I call a collective conscience. We didn't all think on the exact same level. Now it's almost like, I can look over at Ryan Russell or Ryan Isaac, and, we automatically know what we're saying, and we have that. We can now, adjust to one of our defensive player's mistake. If I happen to be out of my gap, or if Russ goes inside, then I know I have to contain. It's just things like that of that nature.
I'm hearing a lot of leadership in your tone. Tell me how you've grown as a leader.
Basically, just watching and being myself. KK texted me a couple weeks ago, right before camp, and he told me, he's like, Bruce, it's on you now. You have to lead, show by example. Show these guys. You've been here for 4 years now, and show them what to do. And from a guy like that, coming to me, it just really stood out to me. Like, let me not let him down. But it's also part of me being myself. I want to lead, and the biggest thing to me is that I'm just doing it more. I held back a little bit. Now I'm just out there doing it. I'm saying it. If I don't see something right in the defense, I'm hold on, coach, call it up. Just players only, no coaches allowed.
You've received a lot of preseason honors. You're a highly regarded player. What are some of the techniques that you have to get better at during camp?
I have to get better at just coming off low and hard. I have to get being more consistent. I personally view myself as a great player. Preseason things, I don't really look at it or view it. I don't even, go on websites like that, because I'm just gonna play my position to the best of my ability, and hopefully that leads me to be the best D tackle in this conference and possibly the nation. And I just work at my craft and try to make it my own.
How have you seen, you get a chance to go against the offense every day, how have you seen them grow with the change in offensive philosophy?
Attitude, O-line coach gets on them, and and his attitude is definitely trickling into them. It's definitely trickling. They're more mean, they're more girthy. It's like like what an old offensive line is supposed to be like. Just big, just grimy players.
Let me ask you this: is this what you're accustomed to playing against your opponents? Now all of a sudden you're starting to see that physical play on your own team from an offense?
Absolutely. I could definitely say that. You see it with opponents, and then sometimes when you're playing against your team, it might not be that much intensity or in practice, but now it's all intensity. It's like you can't take a play off, or your O-line is going to put you on your back, and you have to be prepared for that. But we take care of each other.
Defensive tackle Bruce Gaston, best of luck this year. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.